Nigeria has banned Twitter indefinitely. The announcement comes after a tweet by President Muhammadu Buhari was removed. Many international human rights groups say this is deeply concerning. I'm joined by Africa expert Tapiwa Diamond Chadia now. Tapiwa, tell me, how big is Twitter in Nigeria?
Thank you for having me, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all the viewers of ENCA across the globe. Well, the ban of Twitter in Nigeria has got huge consequences because Nigeria on its own has got one of the biggest populations in Africa, and the youth in Nigeria have been using social platforms to demonstrate and communicate within themselves, within the country. If we go in the last year, where we had the SARS issue in Nigeria, the platform that was used by the majority of the Nigerians was the social media, where Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp was one of the media and the social sites which was used to communicate and to practice the issues of democracy and to even have issues of awareness where there was police brutality in the country of Nigeria. So the social media becomes very influential and becomes a safer platform for the people of Nigeria, obviously, to practice their democratic right in the country.
But what can ordinary people do? This is not the first time that Twitter's been banned by a country. It's been banned in other countries as well before. Surely there must be a way that Nigerians must find alternative platforms, just like Americans did when, President Trump was offloaded from certain platforms. They found alternatives. What are the alternatives for Nigerians?
Chiuna Achebe from Nigeria, one of the prolific writers, said, as long as the lions don't have their own historians, the story of the hunt will always the story of the lion will always glorify the hunter. That is the essence of the problem in Africa, that we have not created platforms for ourselves to speak outside of the platforms which are created by the former colonial master. On our own, we have practically failed to stand and create and become the voice of us as Africans, the voices of the African people in terms of having the platform to distinguish themselves and to speak and push an African agenda that has an African ethos has been missed by Africa. So as a result, we would always need to rely on these borrowed social platforms like WhatsApp, where sometimes we have to use the VPN to bypass whenever the government brings in a ban. Because justifiably so, the government, the president of Nigeria posted something which then Twitter reacted by blocking him. He is also justified in saying we don't want to use this platform in our country. So we have to create our own platforms where we voice our own concerns, where we push our own African agenda. Because even if we look at the main media streamline the media houses, what they do when it comes to the issues of Africa, they filter the news coming from Africa. They mask and sanitize and put the mascara, and they crop off the real African stories. If we go into the movies industry, we have the Machine Gun Preacher, we have the Blood Diamond. There has to be a white messiah who comes in for the movie to have a better story, for it to be marketable and resold. We as Africans, we have then failed to have our own sort of platforms which are going to push the African agenda and advertise Africa, as compared to having Africa being only identified as a place where there is hunger, a place where there is starvation, there's all sorts of ills, diseases, poverty.
Those are good points. Those are good points, Tapiwa. But I want to pick up on something that you said. You said even Muhammadu Buhari is justified in doing what he did. How do you possibly support that? How could you possibly support that?
So he posted something on that platform. Then the platform owner says, this is ungodly, we are going to temporarily ban you. So his reaction to ban Twitter in the country, number one, in terms of resources, it generates money. Then the use of Twitter by the Nigerians on its own, it generates revenue for the owners of Twitter. So it's just reacting to them by clamping down on the revenue that they were going to get from the use of that platform in the country of Nigeria. But importantly so, it is the issue where we say, when we look at it towards the human rights communities, yes, there's been a public outcry from the human rights portion saying that This then means the people of Nigeria are not able to speak freely. If they're found using Twitter, they're going to be arrested. But obviously, Nigeria has always had perennial issues with regards to democracy, governance, and the butchery of human rights.
But are they shut off? Are Nigerians now shut off from expressing themselves, or are they using other ways to express themselves? Is it as serious as the human rights groups say it is?
There are other platforms where they can voice their concerns. There are other platforms, Facebook, you name it, where they can still go and have the very same issues, where they can still go and manifest their anger, manifest the ill comings of the government. So the government has not blocked them from internet, from what we saw happening in the country of Zimbabwe, from what we saw happening in the country of Uganda, where there was a media blackout, internet blackout. This is slightly different because it is only one specific platform which the government has reacted by blocking. Other platforms, other alternatives are still open for the people of Nigeria to use.
Thank you for your perspective, Tapiwa Diamond Chadia, who is an Africa expert. It seems that the situation is not yet at crisis point. There are other ways that Nigerians can express themselves.